Hello everybody, welcome back. It's your boy Lmacncheese, and today I want to do another form feedback reading video where we kind of read some of the cooler hot I don't know about hot topics, but like, I mean, clearly they're hot here, but more of the just things to read that might be cool to read. So I think this might be the second one I've done in these videos, or maybe the third one. I can't tell. I could tell, but I want to look. So I think the first one we'll look at right here is the combat system needs a complete overhaul, which I like to see. Well, and in my opinion right now, the combat system is cool. I've been, like I said, I'm still working on this video. I haven't touched it at all, but I want to work a video where it's kind of outlining the things that the game needs and I know the things I personally want. But maybe they'll share my thoughts in this post here. So this is by Demo33. This was made on Thursday, 221. Demo says, the more and more I think about this run the numbers, the more it hammers home just how broken the current combat system is. I've been advocating for this for a long time, but as I started to do more calculations and thinking, I'm kind of shocked how this isn't being addressed immediately. It's no secret that enemy scaling and armor is broken. You have probably been one or two shots so many times. Yeah, that is true. Anytime I donate their elbow by digging into the numbers a bit, it's clearly that the system does not work. Now, I definitely have been. I'm thinking I'm wearing the heaviest armor set. I don't know if the bear set is better than the current the king set. So with the king set, and it's like the heaviest, always has the most physical damage reduction that I know of, and I still get two shot. Especially when I fight the new Buccaneers enemies they have, just bam bam, you're dead. So, well, like I just want a defensive ability on two on top of it. I run like mostly courage too. So. Due to the subjective nature of armor, bigger hits are heavily favored over smaller hits, which means heavy weapons do well, whereas smaller, faster weapons are quite literally useless. Interesting. And I never really noticed. I mean, let's keep going. I've been running numbers and looking at scaling and thought that since virtues grant flat amounts that should have solved the issue with faster weapons, right? Wrong. Enter attunement caps. Since weapons can only gain 150% of their base damage from virtues, it means that weapons can capped super early, and armor being subtracted means that no matter how high your stats are, these weapons remain useless. Enemy and armor scaling introduces a whole other mess because it means eventually even the big heavy weapons will be useless. I recommended in the past before to switch to armor from being subtractive to multiplicative, like Warframe, and even using the same formula but with a base of 100 instead of 30. And that kind of solves the problem. And they'll make the minor amounts of armor you gain from stats actually meaningful, and will make one shots and damage sponges enemies not really a thing. I don't want a weird moving attunement caps or reducing enemy armor or increasing stats solution. These systems as a whole need to be reworked. This man's cooking right now. Really hope this is addressed soon, because doing anything high level is kind of unplayable. Now, I don't know about unplayable. I think when I was, and this is, I don't know if you even like talk about Koga, how high enemies could be, like up to like in the 90s, I think. Depends on where you go. I think I went up to the 90s, but I've never seen a post. I don't know if it's relevant or not, but there used to be an endless XP farm in one of the dungeons, and they constantly spawn those mimicries, and those things would be like 100 or something like that. So I'm not sure what he's exactly testing on, what he's killing. I'm not disagreeing with him at all, because eventually it'll get to this point where things are too spongy and whatnot, and then we'll just get buffs to stuff or some kind of rebalancing, like they did in Warframe with Steel Path, something like that. I'm not too sure. Everything feels fine to me. I'm not again, one shot isn't fine. I've never got one shot. I'll get two shot at most, but this is 1 to 2 shots, and getting 1 to 2 shot is not a good vibe. It's not a good feel of any game. If you find something and you have to fly the way back, it will create this tension, this hate, this sigh or exhaust when you die. It's just like, I got killed and I gotta fly all the way back again, and sometimes your body might be far away, and just to get up and get killed again, especially if you're surrounded by enemies too, it could be a really hassle. So definitely armor could definitely use a boost, especially if you want to invest to being tanky and stuff like that. We do have new mods and stuff like that, so maybe. But flat, my problem is in Warframe, a lot of the mods don't like armor mods unless you're innately tanky. Like if you have something like maybe 500, 600 armor, and you apply some armor mods, you're gonna be okay. And then your armor mods will scale better. But if you have like flat armor, it's like if you have like 100 armor and you apply the armor mod, it gives you 100% more armor, or it goes up to like maybe like a 200, something like that, maybe like not even. So it's just like you don't get a lot out of that. So I mean, flat could work here, or percentage would work here, but it's just like armor has always been a big issue. And I don't keep my brand Warframe, but Warframe also has an issue with damage on top of that, because armor frames don't really do well because they do so much damage now where your armor doesn't really matter. So you need like damage reductions on top of your armor to really even stay alive, or just shield gate like most do. Let's do some comments here. Yeah, this is pretty true, even though they have stats reduced to armor, but I don't find it useful at all. The stats I read and the effects doesn't tell me how much. And this is a bit of the big thing. We need to, elaborate on what we're getting. I'm all about vague things and, finding stuff out, but we need, where we're at in gaming these days, we need to know exactly what we're getting, instead of having to question everything. Is it working or is it not? So this armor, or how effective it's supposed to be, I really noticed what it's doing. What I think giving limited armor, can have sort of like the Grineer, but stealing this off of the game has limited cap that breaks off like the guard breaking, but as to be permanent breaking off armor, but have to mix with damage to health with armor on like sort of a corporate shields. So armor could turn it into like a shield kind of thing, it'd be kind of cool. But your damage is still acting like toxic, but still be able to hit the HP, but focusing the armor, taking a certain amount of damage on a shield armor until it breaks. No recharges on the armor because it is making the player angrier than before. I don't know if I jumbled this in my mind or how I read it, but it kind of got choppy. I think you started saying like if we do armor, have it like break off, it'll be like armor will be like shields essentially, and then once your shield is off, it takes time to recharge, or in this case it doesn't come back at all. Also reminds me of like the Division, because Division 2 we have armor plates, so once that breaks off, well, you have to go replace it, and that's pretty much it. Or you can regenerate these days, but the time being, the armor should be capped degree of grade of armor from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like how the name of the weapon is certain numbers, but the type of enemy facing an armor, and not pulling the BS, giving enemies too many invincible jerks OP power. Yeah, this is choppy. The players in this game aren't powerful, expecting the new players who is coming into this game are expecting blow their minds out. Well, this armor issues the dev have now, it is going to get new players confused, mad, and quit the game very fast, either on the first day or a few days later. I don't know about that one, because exactly like outward confusing of no guidance. As again, the dev should look up the armor of an enemy, because if we fight the enemy above in the 50 to 80, it is where the gnats fly trying to bite a tungsten, which I had to struggle. Even I maxed out my weapons and ranks, and smiting its final star, it still became a joke. And it took hours to kill a boss, and additionally an additional annoying minions that keep on helping the boss out because I'll do their armor annoying part of it. Now, I'm sorry if that was jumbled, but I think he's just trying to say fix the armor issue. If there's an issue right now, I'm not trying to say that it is an issue, but I just haven't felt like bosses are super tanky. Like, I know they're tanky, but that's a boss, and they should have more health, kind of thing. Like if I'm fighting like the Garrood, corrupt the Garrood, it doesn't take that long. I fought like some of the bosses don't take long at all, but they could talk about Kolga. Maybe I'm just optimized. Maybe I could use Greatsword, so I'm not sure exactly where this is talking about how they take hours to kill a boss. So I'm not sure if it's a skill issue or not. I don't know. Ain't that the truth? 500 Drax isn't worth it. Combat woes. This is a long video. You can see this one. Oh, dang. See, you get killed and then you gotta fly all the way back. He's doing like no damage. There, now you're doing. There's some good damage right there. What is that? I see the ability as like a flamethrower and a shield, or like a flame like blast. I said before. Let's move on a little bit. Oh, Skip Tim's getting killed again. He's doing some damage here. Yeah, he's not using his other abilities that I help him out too. Okay, get out the way. I really love how this doesn't move. This could be more skill shorters, but like I get. Like I said, nobody wants to get one shot. This is not even parrying though. I'm just not his parry timings and whatnot. Yeah, that video, you get hit pretty goddamn hard. Oh, was this translate? So I'm having a little trouble understanding this text. They agreeing with what I can gather. Yeah, see, I thought so. Partially drunk. Let me explain it. Battle armor base. We have now. The new players are going to really hate it. The fact that we have weapon stats versus enemy armor, which they have been annoying certain point, but when throwing into Koga, it is all over again with Warframe and Steel Path. Here we go. So now they're just in Koga. They're getting confirmation that they're in Koga doing it. So. Warframe's Path is 2 similar Warframes based on enemy's armor on the Grineer, which is weapons, or with a set of weapons that can do the quote-unquote deep armor on first hit, which means there's nothing to actual scale to see a different are made, which is this is completely a disaster to happen. And I think we're good on that. You know what? I think we got the point for this one. Let me know what y'all think. So I'm not sure. And I'm pretty sure it's an actual issue, but I've never actually had a problem with it so far. And I'm not just doing like kitty content, so you know, who knows? Like just let me know what y'all think. Let's move to the next one. Another post we have here is monetization and a future business model by Singularity Taco. Hi Des, my only wish for this post is that you read it. You read it critically and take it seriously. I understand I do not speak for all gamers, even though my language sometimes apply that. Yeah, I can hear. Forgive me, me lads and lasses. I rant. Monetization currently in the shop, to put it is bluntly, is terrible. Currently, there are 2, 3, but we'll get to that. Many reasons to pay for premium currency to bypass the construction times on gear and purchase materials. See, I'm gonna type it right there. Major reasons to pay for premium currency to bypass the construction times on gear and purchase materials. See, in Warframe, you gotta wait 3 days for something. And I think in Soulframe it's like 12, if not like 6. So if you can't wait that long in a free-to-play game, like I said, you gotta, you got something to do. Maybe want to use it now. I get it, but I think we can wait 12 hours for something, And then purchase materials. Can we purchase materials? This is pointless with a capital P and bypass the core gameplay loop. The end game loop of the game is farming and doing so while you wait for constructions to finish. The inconvenience of the build timer is negligible as there's always something else to do while I wait. Exactly. On I purchase your currency and finance your company to speed up your process, I will wait. See, another thing here is this: they're not Soulframe. You have Warframe. Warframe like the cash cow. You know, like they still have systems in that game to deliberately make you buy platinum and stuff like that. And Soulframe can be this lenient because they have Warframe on their front, giving them a lot of the money so they can be more lenient on the Soulframe front. So, and a grand percentage of us will bleed when your company. And of us will, and your company revenue will drag on the ground, and the game will gasp for breath. No, that's not true. The weapons are packs offered in Filmora store are pay to win, no incentive. Sure, I mean, I don't know if you're gonna win it in a PvE game. Essentially, when it's PvE, you're gonna win, sure, but even then, that's not guaranteeing that you're gonna win. Because if you get like Bromius is packed, or you can stomp, you can. If you get you're so on top, you have to unlock things still. You don't get the full access to the entire pack at the start. It's level 1. So they still have to use it, learn it, and upgrade appropriately. So you're not winning, you're just paying to get it easier. So I guess that means there's no incentive to do it, is that what you're trying to say? I got items I need in games I should, as when I find them, it feels rewarding. The materials offered in the premium store are pay to win, no incentive. What materials we got in there? I know we have like the stuff for like cosmetics. I got a mass thing to do as I play the game as I should, and when I do, it feels rewarding. Offering these things in store offers me a way to skip feeling rewarded, and that is heavily flawed business model. That's just how it is. All right, some people don't have all the time in the world to do all this grind and stuff like that, so they have shortcuts so they can get to things they want to do without having to spend too much time. You know, like an offer, you can't buy Orokin cells. Like, can you buy Orokin cells? Most of the time, I read about materials ever. They're just there if you need them, I guess, but it's not hard to farm. Just target it, do it, have fun, chill. So, if you want to buy stuff, buy it. It's still, you're still gonna have fun, and it's like that's kind of what business is. If you want to buy it, buy it. If you don't. The one need I have for currency is to increase inventory space. This is a horrible way of monetizing the game. This way of monetization is free to suffer, pay to enjoy, and no one likes it. GGD does it very similarly, which is grinding your games. If you didn't even have Exile, and then GGG, what they do is you start Path of Exile and you only have 4 inventory tabs. And in this game, you have a lot of currencies. You have orbs, you have gems, you have flasks. You have gear. Sometimes you want to keep, sometimes you want to sell. And then what they do is they have tabs for each individual currency. So, say if you're doing a mechanic called Breach drops its own currency. It has its own tab. If you do something like Expedition has its own tab. If you're just playing the regular game, it also has its own currency, which is just currencies. You want flask, you have a flask tab, so all this stuff kind of like just gives you breathing room essentially, and you don't need it, but damn does it feel like you do, because if you don't, there's a lot of your inventory gets cluttered, a lot of your bank space gets cluttered. You have to make a lot of sacrifices for stuff like that. Now, it's not impossible to play on without it, but it makes it very hard. But at the very least, they do have tab sales like often every like weekend, I believe, and a lot of them tabs cost like $5 or less. And then they also offer these bundles. I'm not advocating for it, but I'm a shill for GGG games. I love Path of Exile. There's like bundles up to like $90, and then you can buy each individual bundle and upgrade each individual bundle. So say you want to spend $30 this week, and you get and then you upgrade your package to another $30 bundle and get the next upgrade, and then they do the next one to $90 bundle. So they're also tax free if you go to the website, but each pack comes with points and armor and cosmetics. So $30 pack gives you 300 points, $6 pack gives you 600 points, $9 pack gives you 900 points. So you get 300 points every time you get it, and then you kind of are incentivized, if anybody plays the game, to buy tabs. So, but once you have the tabs, you're not reading them again, and they also work between both games on top of that, and you don't have to buy them ever again. So $30 in Path of Exile goes a huge way. Like a limited, like the value on that is, it's great. So just to explain to you what GGG does. Very similar, and it's a sole reason I will not support the company. By memory, I never purchased any other currency in Warframe, and there's no reason to buy it here. And to reiterate, do not make the reasons we need premium currency to quality of life features in the game. Make the reasons be awesome cosmetics, fully sick mounts, and badass armor effects, wings, horns, or halos, or they drip like that. See, and another problem here is you don't have, in Warframe, you don't have to buy the currency. You can trade. You can trade in the game. Like trading in the game, you farm stuff. You can trade other players for the in-game currency. You don't spend a dime in Warframe if you don't want to. Not a single dime. The only time you gotta spend a dime is like some bundles are only money. I think like Prime Access is only money if you want the cosmetics and stuff like that. But then I believe you can just also use, I think, platinum to get the things on top of that if you make enough platinum, maybe. I believe so. You don't have to buy currency in Soulframe. You can buy currency, but that's to give you a lot of currency to test stuff out with on top of that. Like inventory spaces, yeah, I get it, but at the same time, a lot of people like to say, just clean your locker, like you don't need this weapon that you used once and you load it up and you don't want to, never use it ever again. You just throw it out, But then again, in this kind of system, the game's kind of coming into where you're like, we're getting random rolls and stuff like that. Inventory space probably is going to be an issue, or it's going to be an escalating thing at some point because we have so many weapons, so many rolls. So give a reason for the average game to throw in $5 or $10 a month and your game will thrive. Focus on milking a few whales and your game will drag along in the dirt for the rest of the experience, barely getting by with a large portion of ex-players resenting any future updates because the monetization fails to change. Vindictus will have like the war with you, and any other gacha game will have to war with you about that, because whales will whale, they will shill. There's some games like Where Winds Meet where they have that boat that was worth like, for how much that boat was, that cost like $400,000 or $90,000, like in actual money. Like a single person who bought that boat, there's a couple people actually bought that boat, have fueled that game on that alone for like a couple years, just from a couple people who bought that boat. So just like look at Dota 2, this game is a perfect game. It is truly free to play. You're given the entire game, all quality features, on game mechanics, all functions are open and fully available and enjoyable. If it was paid to win, or even if it was paid to purchase, the entire game is available. Nothing in that game is free to suffer, paid to enjoy, and consequently continues to be one of the most successful online games of all time. Well, Dota 2 is also a MOBA, so they also monetize, do things extremely differently than what this game currently does. So I'm not too sure how those compare. And also that's Valve on top of that, and Valve Steam has freaking money, so they can do that. Also on top of that, Dota 2 has loot boxes, and they also have extreme amount of battle passes, and there's a FOMO on top of that, I believe, because some sets don't ever come back, or some sets are locked things. You gotta go like trade them, stuff like that. So I'm not sure this is a good example that you want to use for this one. So DO, continue to play this game because I enjoy the gameplay, but if you ever want any more of my money in the future, here's how you do it: cosmetics, which kind of like how to do in the Warfare. So for how we're getting armor, you can use armor as a cosmetic instead of just making only cosmetic armors that only serve to be cosmetic. So let's read some opinions from people who probably know what they're talking about. With Warframe, we have virtually unlimited opportunities for cosmetics. Since every Warframe can have multiple skins, there are armors, spaceships, items, and whatnot. In Soulframe, since packs themselves don't have much cosmetic scope, they is most likely foaming to find parts again to monetize. As a result, they're choosing predatory monetization by intentionally making major core mechanics terrible. We have more like timers, also present in Warframe, but much more annoying in I say this word disparaging in Warframe. Resident Warframe, but much more annoying. How is it much more annoying in Soulframe when you have less timers in Soulframe? How is that possible? Limited material caps, 54 crafting mats. So you definitely should be any like crafting mat caps. I will agree on that one. into inventory, even though we have turned to a looter. And see, that's the thing right there. You're turning into a looter. So I see the part to talk about right here is where you're turning into a looter when you need more inventory spaces and such. And on top of that, so, and I think we have like a salvage inventory too, so you can carry my stuff out salvage and just kind of sort through that and get it out of the way. So just if you have more tabs, you're gonna pick up more trash anyway until you sort it out. All this can be skipped with premium currency, as you're just gonna buy more spaces to throw more things at that you're probably not gonna use. So you can just, you know, the answer would be just clean out your inventory. You know, I would say. They believe it would yield a higher revenue, whether it's true or not, only time will tell. And I don't really think it's predatory at all. Like I said, just clean your inventory out. You'll be fine. Not only did they introduce a horrible system, but they also released it broken. If you try to increase weapons craftsmanship, it says it can increase by 1 or 2 temperaments. And instead, it happens very often, if not always, that you upgrade a craftsmanship without getting any temperaments. I think every time then I got temperaments. I'm not sure what you're doing. Those temperaments are like the higher rare mods on the weapon, or the perks. Spend hours farming rare wood to make ingots and refine weapons in order for them to not level up as they should. How they thought anyone would enjoy this remains a mystery to me. And on top of that, this whole market thing with rotating talent weapons is beyond horrible. I don't understand why they don't just monetize it through skins and cosmetics like every other else usually does. Now, I can't speak to rotating shops. Rotating shops are actually really dumb. Look at Dark Tide or like Destiny. Before, I think before Destiny, they used to do that. But rotating things don't make any sense to me. Just leave it in the shop. I don't know if it's like, there's like a FOMO thing with that where like people got to kind of get it now. So if they can't, like, I think the way the brain works is like they see it here and it's going to rotate, so they got to get it immediately. They can't wait because they never know it's going to come back or not. So they'll get it now. But if they had all the time in the world to get it, they can probably delay and not get it now. And they're like, oh, I'll get it next week, or I'll get it after that. And at some point they'll get it. But if it's rotating, they'll probably have more urgency to get stuff. So man, that's why they have rotating shops. But I don't agree with it either. It's pretty dumb. I don't know if they even have rotating shops in the first place. So, but time limited weapons. So I wonder if they're doing time limited like perks on weapons, maybe something like that. But everything else, and like I said, we're here. We spend farming rare wood to make ingots and refine weapons, but to not level up they should. How they thought anyone would enjoy this is a mystery to me. And this part right here is they're just trying stuff. They're throwing things at the wall because this game is in pre-alpha. This is very early on. You know, they're trying things out. You know, and they're changing things. So people getting, you know, a little rowdy about it, sure, but then they're going to listen to your feedback and see what's going on, you know, and see if it sticks or not, what people like, what they don't like. So they're just trying things out right now. So, you know, a little bit. So I say straight up predatory, make pre-crafted weapons purchasable for both Drax and Arcs. I like that. This is D. Created a beautiful world in a medieval fantasy setting, and they did not think that there's a possibility to sell badass looking skins for armor and weapons. I just don't understand. Heck, I thought the Caliban or Friel skin set comes pretty close. Like I said, early on, you know, and if you don't make cosmetics for armors, I would get it. I would understand because we have, I'm kind of on the fence of like even having cosmetic armors. It's like just make them actual armors you can get in a game. You know, making an enemy, make something farmable to get, and then we just turn it into a cosmetic, into a layered set, you know, into a transmog, as they've been doing so far. So, you know, I think that's what they're doing. Like if there's like skins for packs though, I can see that. Skins for packs, I could definitely see that. Weapons, I don't know, that could be the same part as armor. Like give people more reason to farm, you know. And if you want to buy it, I guess you could buy it too. Definitely predatory, or at the very least ignorant and stupid at the moment, sadly. Although to me, would never buy a weapon from the store because farming is a part of the fun for me. I'm not really against that, as long as they're not legendary winning the best rolls or something. What I 100% do not understand is the Cordstone, neither in crafting nor in purchase. They have the perfect model with Format and Warframe, very low KH crafting time, and only 1 or 4 rare materials farmable everywhere for one not random action for empowering weapon and directly slightly. Also, purchasable in the market for 20 plat or a bundle of 3 for 35, 100% fair. I bought many 3-pack. Yeah, 3-pack Forma was like, I'm pretty sure that's like their biggest selling item. The core stone costs many resources. You have to craft like 8 items over 3 days for a random effect. They said they were working on that, so I think they already did the pass on that already. So, and it costs 60 if you only get the last exotic cord stone, and much more, up to 500 or something when you purchase all the stones. Pay to win, slot machine, nice. And the system isn't complete, because yes, you will able to roll even choose the temper, but that means nothing if the process that comes before is this predatory and expensive in every single way, nor does it mean that this rerolling will not be monetized as well. And all that in pre-alpha was mostly their fan base as player base. Disgusting. Easy fix. You'll need the 1 core stone to advance weapon to the next stage. It costs 1 rare resource, but 4 different ones, or one of every lamprite or something else that fucking respects the player's time. Takes 23 hours to craft. Using it lets you choose the temper or choose the existing one. You can buy in the shop for 20 arcs, or a bundle 3 for 35. Boom's easy, D. Like I said, they're working on it. Bounce off at the wall. They gotta make money on because it's free to play, so I get it. I agree with that thing, and add to it, the game is in pre-alpha, so it is still way too far from being a final product. It feels like the developers are putting their energy into how to monetize rather than developing game further. That's not true. I know money is required for development, but many people have already paid basically a full game price for a pre-alpha title, whereas other games that allow access are way further along in their beta phases. It just feels so wrong to try to monetize a game that is so far from its release. That's kind of how it is. You know, granted, also this game has a lot more content than most games will have, even in the beta phases in the first place. Granted, but they're still building it. You know, and I'm not trying to defend any of this predatory stuff like that. In case you're trying to think I'm just defending it, I'm just saying, it's pre-alpha. Get some money along the way. The game ain't going nowhere. The game ain't going to be like suddenly it's going to die. But, oh, whoops, sorry guys, it didn't work out. You know, goodbye. You know, so like I said, you don't have to buy it. And if you don't find it fair, just don't buy it. And they'll eventually, you know, like I said, it's pay with your wallet and see how that goes. So very interesting. I'm not sure I agree on all this though, as I said, but some things definitely can change. So let me know what y'all think. But I think those are 2 heavy discussions. I don't want the video to be too long, so I think I ended off here. Yeah, take it easy.